Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I want to do this live stream to speak to you guys about Ramadan and also do a Q and A. So, I haven't done a Q and A in a while. Here is the link to join. As always, we're going to be speaking about the dawah, we're going to be speaking about Islam, we're going to be speaking about evolution, atheism, all the standard stuff. And most importantly, I think we should today speak about intention, the power of intention. What do we want out this Ramadan? What do we want when we're giving dawah? What do we want in our life? So let's speak. I've sent out the link. Whoever wants to join, some people are already here. Khalid Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. Fabian, Assalamu alaikum. Abu Yusuf Suman, Faiz R, Assalamu alaikum. Miran Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum. I can't pronounce the other name. Zeus Ehsan, Fateh Mahmoud, Waqar Siddiq, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining this live stream. Right, I am the Warner. MashaAllah. Brother, you must join the live stream, please. It would be so nice to speak to you. I haven't actually spoken to you before, and you have joined the stream before. So one of our streams on the IRA channel. So it'd be very nice to speak to you. And anybody else that wants to speak, have no fear. The Warner is here. Indeed. MashaAllah. It's good to have the Warner in the house. Okay. Kamal, brother Mehmet. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Please click on the link and join the chat. All righty. So I'm going to send out the link again, getting people to speak. As you know, guys, I don't on this channel speak about Islamic fiqh matters. I don't speak about, those things. It's atheism, Darwinism, dawah to non-Muslims, that kind of thing. That's what we're about on this channel. All righty. I'm just looking for the link. Here we go. I have the link and let's send this out. Just waiting for a few more people to join. So, guys, which part of the world are you watching from? So we have Kashmir. I can see that. Truth in Knowledge. I've seen that channel before. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Lahore. Okay, good. Very good. Egypt. Excellent. Egypt. Good. Very good. Very nice to have you on board, wherever you're calling in from. France. Okay, nice. Sydney, Australia. Good. All righty. So, guys, quick question for anybody that's watching right now. Quick question. What is the main thing that we should try and do if, wait, somebody says Hassan Abbasi Osia. That's interesting because I'm actually from Osia. It's very nice to meet you, brother. I'm trying to remember who this guy is. Is this guy my relative? Might end up being my relative of some sort. Okay. It's going to be interesting. Um, yeah, what was I going to say? I know. Like, what do you know? Who is this guy? Uh, met your brother. Probably speaking about Noor there, my brother. Okay. Um. Okay, Kashmir. All right, guys, where are you from? That's the question. Where are you calling in from? What's the main thing, guys, that we need to do this Ramadan? This Ramadan, we need to reconnect with Allah. We need to reconnect with Allah's book. We need to reconnect with the most important aspect of our character, which is God consciousness, which is taqwa, which is love, hope, fear, trust in Allah. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen and show you guys something which is super important. So, does everyone know what this is? This is the Quranly app. This is the app that we need to make sure we download, because this app is going to be phenomenal. It's going to help you in your Ramadan. It's going to help you reconnect with the Quran. It's going to help you build habits. It's going to give you these notifications that you need to click and you need to learn, and you need to read and you need to do these things. So the Quran is super important, and this habit building app is really going to help you. So make sure you download it. Make sure, mashallah, we have somebody that said that they downloaded it. Well done. That's fantastic. That's good to hear. May Allah bless you immensely. I remember when this app was launched, this app was fantastic. So, it's very, very important that we all download it and we all, support this work, because this is fantastic. This is great stuff. All right. So, giving some more links. Son of Paper, Assalamu alaikum, Sabur, wa alaikum salam. It's awesome. I use it every day. Fantastic. That's great to hear. That is great to hear. Okay. That's the way to do it. Download it. That's the way to do it. Okay. All right. So, guys, I'm gonna do Q and A. Anybody can join the Q and A. They can ask questions. I'm gonna answer them, inshallah. And let's do this. I want to give everybody time. So, 1 minute question, and then I'm gonna try and address it within a few minutes, and then we'll move on. There'll be no follow-up questions because there's lots of people that actually want to join the stream. Obviously, now we have our brother here, Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam. You had your camera on, then you took it off.
Nah, that was just for the backstage. I'll prefer to keep it off.
Sure, no worries, no worries. How you doing?
Yeah,
Where are you
so I
calling in
saw
from?
the notification and you saw you were live for a Q and A after so long. Never clicked anything faster in my life. Mashallah, good to
That's
have you
good.
back,
That's
bro.
good. That's very good.
And
Okay.
Ramadan Mubarak, bro.
Yes, Ramadan's going to be fantastic this year, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So, what's going on, Akhi? What's your question?
So, yeah, so I've been talking to people, tried giving dawah to a few people, and one thing that I get a lot is that we don't need to follow a specific religion as long as we are good people and good human beings. And I know what we say in response to that is that how do you define good? Could you give a little bit of could you expand on that? I need to learn more about that. What do we mean by that when we say that?
What matters is not your definition of good, my definition of good, anybody, John Doe's definition of good. What actually matters is what is true, right? So, which definition of good is true? Now, if someone says, I'm going to be good to the elderly, I'm going to give out charity, I'm going to kick elderly people, right? We're not going to say that's good. Somebody else may say, I think it's good to, put people in prison if they do major crimes. Other people think, no, we should forgive everybody. So everybody can have a different concept of good. But what matters is which concept is true. Now, which concept is true is based upon which religion is true, which evidence is true. So people say, well, if you follow any religion, as long as you're a good person, well, how do we know that religion is true? Like, for example, if there's somebody who is giving charity, they're a nice person, they're smiling, but they disbelieve in Allah, they reject Allah, they reject His messengers, that person is not good. That person may be doing good actions in their life, like giving charity, being nice to their elderly or whatever, but in terms of the core aspect of their character, their relationship with Allah, are they good? No, they're not a good person, right? So what matters for us is which religion is true. That's what matters. This neoliberal idea of, this thing is good or that thing's good, or as long as you're a good person, this is all airy fairy stuff. There's no substance to this. There's no argumentation here. There's no rigor here. So anybody that makes that point, just ask them for a rigorous, robust methodology to find out what is true and what is not. Most people don't think about it. Even this very cliche idea of, oh, this thing's popular, as long as you're a good person, everything's fine. Like it doesn't actually make sense. It doesn't actually make sense when you actually think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. It does make it a lot clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
brother.
much.
Thank you, brother Ahmed. All right, yeah. I'm gonna remove you from the stream. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take you out the stream because lots of people try and
Yeah, yeah,
join.
sure. I'll just leave the
Okay.
studio. Right,
Jazak,
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. All righty. Near Kamil, can you please switch on your camera in the back end, even if you switch it off later on, because I want to see. Yeah, there you are. You're a real person. you're, you're a real person. I can see you.
Sheikh Sabur, brother Sabur, what do I call you?
Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, brother?
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. I just came back from Salat al-Tarawih.
Really? Where you?
Yeah.
Which country are you in?
Well, so it's a bit weird. So I lived in Canada my whole life, but now
Yeah.
I'm back in Egypt. I was born in Egypt, then I moved to Canada, lived there my whole life, and then I came to for university here in Egypt.
MashaAllah. Very good. Very good. That's
MashaAllah.
very good to hear.
Alhamdulillah.
So, which city in Egypt are you in?
I'm in Cairo.
Nice, nice. I've been to
Yeah.
Cairo. I really love Cairo.
MashaAllah.
Yes,
Have you
yes.
been to Al-Azhar?
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't go to
MashaAllah.
Cairo and go to Al-Azhar? Yes.
I know, right?
Yeah, I went to the back streets of Azhar where they had people with these beautiful mushafs. You had all this bread that was being freshly made, all these students walking around with the
Yeah,
Azhar.
yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I really loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, Azhar. I inshallah, like after I'm done university, I wanna like study there, inshallah, like Sharia
Inshallah.
and Islamic science, inshallah.
Inshallah. Azhar is a beautiful place, and I spent a bit of time in Alexandria as well. That was nice. That was very nice.
Yeah,
In fact,
Alexandria is good.
I remember I sent a random picture of a random street to Muhammad Hijab, right? And he didn't know I was in Egypt, and straight away he told me he's in that I was in Alexandria, because that's his city.
Whoa. Yeah, I know Muhammad Hijab's from Alexandria.
Alexandria. Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. So,
Mashallah,
Aki, what's your
mashallah.
question?
My question, it's like about it's kind of like Allah's like, is he bound by logic? Like when people say like Allah can't turn into a human, Allah like can't cease to exist. Like some people would say like you're limiting God, but then at the same time, like if you say it's illogical for God to like cease to exist, for example, then someone could say, well, God, he can do whatever he wants. Is he bound by the laws of logic? Isn't he the one that created it? How could he be bound by what he created?
Yeah,
that's just my question.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. The thing is, if somebody proposes an idea which is incoherent, right? Such as, can God create a rock that he can't lift? Which is technically an incoherent idea. It's basically saying, can God not be God? We're not putting limitations on God because there's no limits on God. God can do whatever he wants. However, we're saying the question in of itself, or the statement in of itself, is incoherent. It doesn't actually add up. It's almost gibberish. So what people do is they ask a question which is gibberish, and then when we say that's not possible, they try and throw the label against us that we're limiting God, or that God should be able to do this because God can do anything, when the fact is the argument they're making is in of itself incoherent. So we don't need to say God has limits, because that doesn't make sense. God doesn't have limits. We need to basically say that the question itself, can God create a rock that he can't lift, or can God not exist? Can God become a human? All of these questions are essentially at rock bottom incoherent. That's all we need to say.
So it's not like that God is limited. It's just that the statement itself is illogical.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. I mean,
Okay.
in our the thing is, in our belief, we do not say anything about Allah that is unbefitting of Allah's majesty. And to try and say,
Yeah.
oh, Allah is restricted or Allah is limited, or all of the, see what they're trying to do, they're trying to put us into the trap of saying those things when that's not true. The truth is their claims are incoherent. That's what's basically going on. Their claims are incoherent. It's got nothing to do with the actual statement in of itself.
Okay.
Make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Jazakallah khair, brother. I mean, I know you said only one question, but can I ask you another question? It's very, very short. Like, I think
Sure,
you'll give
sure,
me like a 2-word answer.
sure.
If I ever come to UK, inshallah, will I ever be able to meet you?
If you come speakers corner, of course.
Okay. Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
inshallah. That's where people normally come to meet me. Other
Mm.
than that, I'm quite elusive. I'm like a Pokemon.
Oh. Okay. There's no like particular masjid you go to?
Um, I kind of float around, but I
Okay.
mean, the thing is, I travel a lot as well, right?
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but Speakers Corner, inshallah, I mean, that's one of the places I like going to, and people meet me there,
Okay.
inshallah.
All right.
Cool.
Jazakallah khair, brother Sabur.
Iyak, akhi, wa iyak. It's good
Assalamu alaikum.
speaking to you. Wa alaikum salam, Nia.
Great speaking to you as well. It's an honor. Nair.
Nair. Okay,
Yeah, Nair.
good.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So, Hunter X, could you please switch on your camera in the background so I can see you're a real person? Yep, you can switch it off now if you don't want to, or I can keep you on. There we go. You are a real Homo sapien, brother.
السلام عليكم brother Sur.
Wa alaikum salam. How you doing, Aki?
Alhamdulillah wa shukrillah. Ramadan Mubarak to you and your followers. Inshallah.
Hope you have a good Ramadan too, Aki. Where are you calling in from?
Where?
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Italy.
From?
Italy.
Italy, right? Nice.
Yeah.
Which city?
Milan.
Milan. Yes, I've been to Milan. You probably know there's a brother called Imam Usama.
No, I'm fairly new to be honest around here, so I wouldn't know too much.
He's like the main guy in Milan. Everyone knows him. He's like the big cheese.
Is it? Is he in the? Yeah, because it's like I'm near of his like on the outskirts of it, like you could say, but not in the center. Like there's a big mosque there I know about, yeah, but like maybe he's there, I'm not there.
Yeah. So it's definitely a very good thing, connecting with the brothers and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, what's your question?
I actually it wasn't that much of like a question, more like I wanted to comment about something, because like I used to like listen to before like you and the other brothers on like Speakers Corner, and like sometimes when you're listening to like someone like talk with an atheist or like whatever, like you just like I didn't quite understand unless like until I talked like recently to someone. It was like for the first time you're talking to someone like one-to-one. Sometimes you don't like, it's like the pressure or like the instant responses that need to come. You kind of like, you don't feel that when you're looking at a screen and someone is like talking with another guy. You just like maybe say, oh, you should have said this, or you should have said that, you should have done this, you should have done that. But like when you're in the heat of the moment, it's like it's way too different. Like that's something like after it kind of like changed my perspective really on anyone like talking in public. It's like a whole different thing now.
Yeah, you got to have presence of mind. Like, it's so easy to watch a video and be like, yeah, I can just go up to some atheist and I can talk to him and I can argue and this and that. When you actually do it, you realize, wait a minute, this guy's saying things and I need to think about what I'm saying because he may refute me, right? You kind of have to play around a little bit. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you say like something weird, you can pause a video or something.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, let me pause the video and see what he's talking about. What I like to do, You have to remember that when you're discussing with an atheist, they can throw the kitchen sink at you, they can throw anything at you, right? What I like to do is I like to stick to those areas that I know are number one important, number two are relevant, right? They're important and relevant, and three, I know what those topics are, right? It's never good to delve, like for example, some atheist says to you, they don't believe in predestination because of quantum mechanics. Now, if you don't know anything about quantum mechanics, just be like, well, why don't you believe in God? Just go back to what you know, yeah. And you'll never lose by sticking to the simple points, right? That's one thing I learned, right? You will never lose by sticking to the simple points. Simplicity wins every single time.
Yeah, that does sound like a good plan. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Anything
Uh,
else?
there
Yours
was
was the
like a
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't like really a question. Like there was also like in university and stuff. Like I'm studying medicine. Yeah, so like um, uh, the people like they teach some stuff related to evolution, and they just kind of like I don't know. It's weird because like they're talking to a audience of like laymen, like high school graduates, and they probably don't know much about it, and they're speaking like it's like a fact, you know, like nobody speaks about it anymore like it's a theory. Like they just speak about it like it's a solid fact, and they tell people like um, even like in the biochemistry side of things, they just like oversimplify it and speak like it's some sort of like uh, solid thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's not even related to the course, like so like
Yeah.
they still tell people that stuff.
Yeah. They chuck in these messages and they want you to sort of just accept them willy nilly, you know? You do get that. You get that a lot. Yeah. I mean, these guys, they want to chuck in evolution or Darwinism or natural selection at any given point. Anything that's going on, right? They could be talking about climate change. They could be talking about human cognition or psychology or anthropology or whatever.
Like,
They
do you know
will,
sometimes that even in my in my textbooks, like in high school textbooks, I noticed that in the end there was like in a sentence that has like evolution in it. If I just like put my finger on the word evolution and read the sentence, like there's
yeah,
nothing that changes in the sentence. It
yeah,
still has like valid the same exact meaning.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. That's the problem. That's the actual problem. All right, brother Hunter X,
All
it
right.
was good speaking to you. Until
Jazakallah
next
khair,
time.
brother.
Wa
Salam
iyyakum.
alaikum.
Assalamu
Salam.
alaikum. Okay, next we have brother Munawwar Shah. Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Hi, hello.
Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Walaikum salam.
How you
I'm
doing?
calling from UAE. I'm good, Alhamdulillah. I
You're calling,
was busy with my child. Sorry
no,
for that.
no worries. Where you calling in from?
From UAE, Dubai.
Oh, Dubai. Okay, good, good. So how you doing,
Yeah.
brother? You okay?
Alhamdulillah. I'm from Pakistan. I think you are also
Yes, yes. Where you from in Pakistan?
from Sawat, Malakan.
Oh, yes, yes. I went to that area long time ago, maybe 2005 or something. I don't remember. Long.
Oh,
Yeah, I went to Mardan, I went to Sawat, Peshawar,
yeah,
you know, all those areas, beautiful fruits. There's a lot of fruits in those areas, you know.
yeah. Good.
Yes.
Okay, my question is that in here, Dubai, Dubai Qunut, we recite Dubai Qunut, right? So the Imam actually recite the Sheikh names. They recite the Sheikh names. Each Sheikh, like Dubai, Fujairah, here 7 states, So they recite the names. So some people will agree with that, and some people will not. So is it okay to recite the Sheikh?
The thing is, I only answer questions when it's related to dawah to non-Muslims or evolution or atheism. I don't answer questions about Islamic topics like that. So I can't say anything about this.
So this comes in my mind just in Isha prayer. So you are streaming, so that's why I thought I will ask this question.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, but this is not something I answer. Thank
Okay,
you.
no problem, no problem. Thank you for your timing. Also.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Alaikum salam. Okay, brother Muhammad Saim, can you switch on your camera so I can see your real Homo sapien? There you are. Now you can switch it off, my brother, and I can add you, or you can keep it on. It's entirely up to you. There we go. All
Yes,
righty,
yes, now.
brother Muhammad Saim, how you doing, man? You okay? Walaikum salam.
Yeah, I'm fine. Walaikum Assalam. Yeah, I'm fine. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. Where you calling in from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Pakistan,
Okay.
from Karachi to be specific.
Okay, yeah, I like Karachi. I've been Karachi. I had I think it's called white biryani and golden pakwan. I've had all those things.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice to know. I have discovered you from a youth club.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Youth club. Yes, they're old
Yeah,
friends. I like them.
yes, mashallah.
Wallah, they do very good work.
Yeah. So the question I am asking, so don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
I want to ask why you always target Darwinism.
yeah.
Like there are so many other topics you can go, like why you choose specific Darwinism and you talk about this all the time.
Yes, very good question. Firstly, I've always been interested in biology. Biology has always been one of my main sort of pet things. I just love anything biological. When I was a child, I used to collect beetles. Only later on did I find out that Darwin used to, collect beetles as well. Um, in the Dawa, people focus on many different areas. I was very interested in this topic, and I decided to research this topic because I thought this is coming up all the time in the Dawa. People are saying, I don't believe in God because I believe in evolution. I don't believe in God because Darwin showed that atheism is logically, tenable or whatever it is. And I felt that there needs to be a concerted effort to focus on Darwinism, and that's why I focus on it, because I thought there's a gap, and this gap needs to be fulfilled. So that's, in a nutshell, the reason why I focus on Darwinism.
That's very nice, and I actually got the reason behind this. So now I am
Okay,
satisfied.
okay,
Thank you for your response, and
you're
happy
welcome.
Ramadan.
You're welcome. Have a good Ramadan, brother.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah.
Wa iyak. All righty. Next, we will go to um, Slim. If you can switch your camera on, then I can switch it off. There you go. Now you can switch it off. Thank you, my brother. Now I know you're a real Homo sapien. How you doing?
Hello.
How you doing?
So
You okay?
I'm fine, thank you. So excuse my English and my ignorance, first of all.
Your English is very good, brother. Don't underplay
Thank you.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm calling
How you doing?
from Germany,
Oh, okay.
uh, and I want to know. I have a question. So we know that people that don't hear about Islam,
Yeah.
they don't get judged. So my question is, or
What do
not
you
get.
mean? What do you mean they don't get judged?
I mean, they don't get. They are not accountable if they don't hear about Islam, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
People will be perhaps tested by Allah on the day of judgment, but
Uh-huh.
people will only be questioned on what they know. So if they've never heard of the Prophet, obviously they can't answer. You know, they won't be answerable to who the Prophet is. But other things like worshiping Allah alone and stuff like that, these are fitri. So it's a bit more complicated than what you said. Just clarifying what the position
Yeah.
is.
So my follow-up question was gonna be, so if you know someone never heard about Islam and stuff like that, is it wise to give dawah to them or just leave them be?
Yeah, you have to give dawah because that's what Allah wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
That was simple.
Thank you, brother. So good speaking to you.
Thank you.
I'll
Assalamu
take
alaikum.
you. Walaikum salam. Alrighty. Next, we have Kamal. And brother Kamal, if you can switch on your camera so I can know you're a real Homo sapien. There you are. And you can switch it off now. There you go. How you doing, brother Kamal?
Hello, brother Sabur. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just give me a second. I'll be back. Sorry.
All right. All right.
Alrighty. So, brother Kamal, how you doing? Where you calling in from?
I'm doing great. I'm calling from Morocco, actually.
Inshallah. Good.
So I
So, what's
have
the...
a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, brother Sabur. I know some friends who enter debates with atheists or non-believers. They can be Christians or Jews. The
Yeah.
problem is that when they enter a debate, they are not, their knowledge of the Islam is not very deep. So sometimes they harm Islam in unintentionally. Um, so I would say, do you agree that these people should not debate or enter a debate until they study Islam well, so they can, you know, uh, they can make themselves understood and they can benefit uh, the ones they are having a debate with instead of harming Islam, if I may put it this way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who you're referring to, so I can't speak about any individual person.
No,
Um,
just ordinary people. I know. I'm not talking about anybody specific.
yeah, I mean, it's not really a controversial position. It's well known and understood that you only talk about what you know. You'd never say something about Islam unless you know it. And you stick to your area. So if you're good at explaining God's existence, you explain that. If someone asks you a complicated question about Aqidah, then don't answer it if you don't know the answer. So yeah, what you're saying, I mean, it's pretty vanilla. It's not, you know, there's nothing really I can add to this. It's well known and understood that if you don't know something, you shouldn't really talk about it because you're going to do damage.
Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. So
Thank you, my brother. We have this brother Isham Muhammad Adnan. I think you tweeted me, so you can join the stream and we can have a chat if you want. Alrighty, Ben, my old buddy Ben, why don't you join the stream, bro? Let's have a chat. In fact, I'll post the link here. And all right, brother Hanif Sayed, I'm gonna add you in next. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi. So, brother, my question, recently this question has been troubling me a lot. Like, I've read on the internet that, we and human beings and chimpanzees, we have, endogenous retrovirus, like ERVs
Yes.
in the same location in the genome. And
Yes.
it's very highly unlikely that we have them in the same location
Yes.
unless we had a common ancestor.
Yes.
It's like two people shooting bullets, and they land exactly in the same spot, like
Yeah.
so this it's been very much troubling me. Could you answer
Right.
that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, whether it's endogenous retroviruses, pseudogenes, or general DNA sequences, all of these are arguments from homology, right? So they try and find common ancestry, try and show that common ancestry is true by showing that you have these retroviruses in these locations which are identical in both genomes. It doesn't mean common ancestry. It could simply mean that if those particular sequences have a function And sometimes what happens is they say these are pseudogenes, or they're junk DNA, or they're viruses that just came in. Later on, we actually find out that actually these things are functional. So all that matters is really this: what are the assumptions that are being made when these things are being said? That's what matters. And the assumptions that are being made is the origination probability is close to 0, transition probability is close to 1, meaning things can transfer from one to another. And based upon that, they make these inferences. Okay. So there's nothing here which is absolutely solid. They have an argument, right? I'm not saying they don't have an argument. However, the argument is based upon certain assumptions. And if those assumptions are not proven, then their argument at best is probabilistic based upon these assumptions. So that's the way I would address it, whether it's endogenous retroviruses, general DNA sequences, pseudogenes, whatever it is, it's the same answer to all those questions.
Yeah. I have one more question. Can I ask? Like, I was researching about Islam recently, and no, I'm a Muslim, but I was researching. I was looking into Islam more, and I'm a bit confused. Like, I'm looking at different religions and arguments for Islam and against Islam, and it's so confusing. Like it's hard to say what is right and what is wrong. Like, it's hard to separate wheat from the chaff. So, what advice would you give me? Like,
I would say it's not difficult if you have the right criteria. The criteria that Allah tells us in the Quran is to use your reason. Allah tells you to use your reason, not to actually follow society or follow your desire. Now, if you look at all the religions in the world, the religion that tells you something that you can come to as a conclusion by yourself, even if you've never heard of religion, even if Hanif, you were born on an island and you never interacted with any human being, you would conclude logically that there's only one all-powerful creator. You would conclude that that creator is worthy of our worship. These are basic things. The only religion in the world which explicitly tells you there's none worthy of worship except God, and God is one, is Islam. So firstly, that's the greatest evidence. Secondly, we have prophecies of the Prophet ﷺ. We have predictions in the Quran. We actually have the linguistic miracle. We have historical miracles. We have the stories of the prophets throughout time, which are always teaching the same message. What I would recommend you do is read a book called Failed Hypothesis, which you can download from the IRO website. You can Google it, download the PDF. I actually have given a talk called The Forbidden Prophecies, which is about an hour long. Watch that talk as well. And inshallah, all of your doubts will go away. And read the Quran in a language you understand. Like, read it in English and ponder on it. Like, that's one thing which I started doing when I was a teenager. Started reading the Quran, and you will see straight away that this is a book of reason. It's not a book of blind following. Make sense?
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All righty. Next we have Jabur Masood. You're gonna have to switch on the camera on the back end, Akhi, so that I know you're a real Homo sapien. There you are, handsome brother. And I'm gonna add you. Here we go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother. Just give me 1 second. I'll be back. 1 second. Sorry, I was trying to look for a tissue because I have a runny nose.
It's okay. I'm also sick today too.
The weather just got really cold quickly.
yeah.
Like, yeah, just out of nowhere. Yes, go ahead, Akhi. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from New York, the Big Apple.
The Big Apple, indeed. Never been there.
It's a great place. You should come.
Inshallah. Why not?
Inshallah. So I want to ask you this. So me and a couple of friends, we like to debate atheists and Darwinists. So I wanted to ask you, what is the best or most simple argument against Darwinism?
That's a brilliant question. if the Darwinist is making an argument that God is undermined by Darwin's theory, the best counter argument would be to actually show that Darwinism does not undermine God's existence because it has nothing to say about God. Essentially, it's neutral from that perspective. If it's the case where someone's trying to argue that natural selection and the tree of life and all of these things, they are true, and therefore the understanding of Muslims and Christians and others is wrong, the most powerful evidence against Darwinian evolution is fossils, the fossil record, anthropology, right? Paleontology is a stab in the heart of Darwinism because Darwinism is based upon gradualism. Gradualism is to Darwinism what Tawheed is to Islam. It's the center, it's the core, it's the very
The core doctrine.
the core doctrine. Like without gradualism, there's nothing, right? Now, since without gradualism there's nothing, we have to look at, does the fossil record, does paleontology support gradualism? And it doesn't. It simply doesn't. Read Darwin's Doubt by Stephen Meyer, and also there's some other stuff, very interesting stuff. You go on Evolution News, which is Discovery Institute's website. So have a look at those things, inshallah.
Inshallah, I'll take a look at those. And thank you so much. That was really informational and helpful.
Jazakallah khair.
That was all, and I'm satisfied and thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, next we have Inzamam Ali, but you're gonna have to switch your camera on so I know you're a real person. There you are. Now you can switch it off if you choose to. There we are, my brother. How are you doing? Where are you calling in from? You are a real
Salam.
Homo
Yeah, I am a real Homo sapien. Assalamu alaikum, first of all. Definitely.
Walaikum
How's it going?
salam. Islam.
For, s-
Alhamdulillah.
for
Very
some
good.
reason, for some reason, talking to people like you and Daniel Haqiqa too is like it gets your heart racing for some reason. Just saying, as an observation. Even though I was in the backstages, but that's obviously like you guys are the mammoths of the dawah at the moment.
Bro, Allah makes something happen. You would be surprised how much dawah is happening, and it's got nothing to do with people that are public. There's a lot of dawah happening by the hidden soldiers of Allah, people who are nobody knows them and they're completely oblivious to people.
I wouldn't doubt that. I
Yes.
wouldn't doubt that.
Yes.
But so yeah, we were talking a lot about Darwin and Darwin's theory and how he was, what do you call it, entertaining homology, which recently for the past 3-4 days I've been binging your videos with obviously Muhammad Jabs, your debate with Phillips, yeah. And there's some questions regarding that.
Sure,
there's
sure.
this there's this general theme I see with how you argue with atheist Darwinists especially, and that is that you always bring it down to homology. And is it all about feeding into assumptions first of all? Like they feed into their assumptions, hence it's not right. And the reason why you bring it to homology is because you want to drag the conversation into an argument of atheism and theism instead, because that's their fundamental flaw in it. They assume that there's no god in the first place, hence they feed into homology, which is basically what you said against Phillips, that it's just a naturalistic thing atheists do. They pertain one's existence to the nature because they don't believe in obviously a creator.
Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat the last, maybe just the last part, because I lost internet for a bit.
No,
Yeah, just the last bit. If you can repeat that, please.
So the point was you keep the common trend in your arguments are homology. Yeah, is the, what do you call it, the hikmah, the wisdom behind it, to drag the conversation into, what do you call it, an argument of atheism and theism, because that's what fundamentally atheists are flawed in, and
No,
that's what
the intention is to get them. If an atheist or Darwinist or whatever comes up with endogenous retroviruses or or other DNA sequences which are similar between humans and chimpanzees, whatever they come up with. My intention is to get them to understand that there are assumptions behind these ideas. And the core assumption is that of homology. Now, homology is based upon this idea that similarities in structure and function are due to common ancestry. And it's baked in the definition, right? So such that homology is almost true by definition. My main aim is to get people to understand that there are huge problems with this idea because of the way that it's conveyed. There are assumptions, and the two core assumptions I speak about as transitional probabilities and origination probabilities which impact homology, and then there's obviously homoplasy. So that's the idea, is to get them to take their statement and understand the statement in the context of the actual probabilistic framework and the assumptions. That's the intention.
Nice, nice. And do you think that scientists like Jonathan Marks, the big guys, know of these, what do you call it, fundamental assumptions? Because at the end of the day, these are fundamental assumptions they built upon, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say something which sounds controversial, but it's really not. The vast majority of academics are not that literate in the field of biology as a whole. So you have somebody who's fantastic at zoology, and not only zoology, but a particular type of mammal that they're studying, and they're very good at that. Other people are excellent when it comes to a particular aspect of genetics. But when it comes to bringing all the fields together and holistically understanding all of the fields, not the details of them, but the bulky parts of them, and then understanding the philosophy of how they come up with these particular conclusions, vast majority of scientists, vast majority of biologists are clueless. And that's not an exaggeration. Speak to any college professor, speak to any biologist, find out what their area is, go and research another area within the field and ask them some basic questions and watch what happens. So we just have to keep that in mind. Whether it's the Jonathan Marks or whoever you will see that again and again and again. Philosophers of biology, though, they usually have a very good grasp of the field itself. However, they're not really taken seriously. That's the
Oh
problem.
yeah, they're underrated, isn't it? Because even though I remember the reason why I was what do you call it, binging your videos in the first place was because I was on a forum where people were dissing on us theists. Of course, I'm a Muslim. Dissing on Islam, dissing on Christianity for basically being theist religions and having no foundation to what we believe in.
Yeah,
And and when I brought up like these theoretical assumptions that scientists have come from philosophy, they
yeah,
basically laughed it off. Is it's like they always look at the material evidence, they don't really think beyond that.
no, you're absolutely right. They don't think beyond that. They don't understand the entire picture. They only understand a pixel. They don't understand how the jigsaw fits. They just understand one particular shape. So they have a very lopsided understanding of reality. We have to keep that in mind.
Hmm. By the way, I know it's a funny question, but you wouldn't find any theists believing in common ancestry, like ape chimp common ancestry.
No, you would. You would.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You would.
Theists, like let's
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Christians and Muslims.
Yeah, yeah, you would. You would even find, for example, Asa Gray was a contemporary of Darwin. You find him writing to Darwin and basically endorsing his ideas, even though Asa Gray was a Christian. And even intelligent design as a movement, it accepts the possibility of there being a common ancestry being true. It doesn't preclude it.
So I mean, you'd expect what do you call it, theists, if, for example, an Islamic theist scientist, to use Islamic what do you call it propositions, Adam, and base it upon what do you call it, and base science upon it. And here's where my next question comes: are there even any
Okay. So,
Islamic
so,
scientific alternatives to
so
evolution?
just a point on this, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop a Muslim from believing in universal common ancestry, hypothetically, with the exception of Adam alayhi salam and the Adamic line. Conceptually,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the only exception. Yeah, that's
mm,
the only
yeah,
exception.
because remember, how are children born, right?
Yeah,
Children are born in way in which you have a female, a male, they mate, and you got all
yeah,
that good biological stuff going on. However, can Allah make a child without a father?
definitely.
Isa alayhi salam. Okay.
Isa alayhi salam.
Can Allah make a child without a father, without a mother?
Definitely. Adam alayhi salam.
Allah can create as He wills. So for us, hypothetically, we don't really have a problem conceptually with the idea that a whale, a blade of grass, everything going back billions of years ago goes back to the same common ancestor. We don't really have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's why I also see you or others. What do you call it? You never make an argument against it. You just pose that homoplazy exists and there are possibilities and assumptions included in those, what do you call it, or what they call facts in quotations.
That's right.
And there was another question I had. What was it? Yeah, are there any Islamic alternatives to evolution? Like Islamic scientific, any scientist in the past has tried to do it.
I mean, it's like this. Are there any scientific Islamic alternatives to string theory or quantum mechanics? Uh, the question itself is not like the question itself needs justification. Why would we need an Islamic theory of evolution? We don't. All we
We
simply
don't
need to
know.
do is do the science, try to arrive at the best understanding of reality, which obviously we try and do, but it's very difficult. Things which contradict Islam explicitly, we reject them because we believe in the Quran over,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that's fluctuating and going to change. But we don't need our own Islamic alternative. I mean, if anything, Muslims can support intelligent design as a alternative to Darwinism, right? But not really an Islamic theory of creationism. I don't think that's needed at all, or even I don't even know how one would go about starting it. You know,
The way I was thinking is that you make the framework around Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, and so on. Like the exception of humanity, and you build it around it.
you build what around it though? That's the point. You build what?
I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about as in making a factual claim around it. Rather, make theories around it.
I don't really see how one could do that. All we have from the Quranic paradigm is that Adam alayhi salam was created without a father, without a mother, without a, you know,
Yeah.
let's just make an inference here, without an evolutionary precursor. That's essentially the Quranic paradigm. That Adam alayhi salam, no father, no mother, it's a creation of Allah, direct creation. That's it. You can't build a theory from that. You can't do anything from that. That's just a belief that we hold to be true because we believe the Quran to be true. That's it.
Hmm.
So I'm really against this idea that people push about building some sort of Islamic creation theory. Like you won't be able to get past the first step.
And which is like,
Like what else could you come up with other than what Allah says about Adam and Islam, that Allah made Adam, right? That's it.
so
Like
basically
how
you'll just end up with contemporary scientific methods framed around that.
I mean, it's just not something you would even input into science. You would just
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
just do science as you're doing it. We don't need it. We don't even need the idea of there being some sort of Islamic alternative. All we need to do is show Darwinism for what it is, and that's it. We don't need to do anything else.
okay. So I know I've stretched this long enough. Can I ask one last question?
There's a lot of people waiting, and
Okay, yeah,
actually,
sure, sure,
I'm
sure.
going to be going
Okay,
for yeah, I'm
it's
going to be
fine, it's
going
fine.
for this last one. Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Assalamu
Okay,
alaikum.
brother. Thank you. Wa alaikum salam. Towards Haq, if you can switch on your camera. Okay. So I'm going to be leaving soon because I'm very sorry, brothers and sisters. I'm going to need to go pray Isha. So I'll be leaving and we'll be dealing with the last question towards Haq. Assalamu alaikum, brother. What's your question?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi, brother.
Ramzan Kareem Mubarak, first of all. And yeah, so actually, coming straight to the point, the previous brother asked a lot of questions, and most of the questions answered my questions too. So just wanted to ask, like, if an atheist or a Darwinist comes up and he poses the question, like, do you believe in evolution? So we
Yeah.
are left with a answer of either saying yes to some extent or saying blatantly no. So
Yeah.
in either case, he asks for an alternative, or no, rather not an alternative. Like, he asks me, like, he can ask, like, what do you believe, to explain all these things. So in that scenario, I am left with the onus of answering, rather than I am forcing him to come towards the concept, that core concept that we should be coming to, like atheism and Islam. Because let me clarify, like, normally when somebody asks this kind of questions, I normally drag them, or try to drag them directly to the question of atheism and Islam, because I say them, like, we assume Adam and Eve alayhi salam, Hawa alayhi salam, were the first humans on this earth. So then they say that no, we came from a cell or whatever. So then it boils down to something like, which is the truth. So then we can debate directly upon Islam and atheism or whatnot. But in this scenario, I am left with answering the question, like, how should I respond, or how should I weave my way through it?
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is because we're running out of time, I have a lecture on Islam and evolution. I have quite a few
Yeah,
lectures. Just watch any of them. All you can simply say is, you know, we believe in the basic definition of evolution. We don't have a problem
yeah,
with that. However, we deny that when it comes to the Adamic line, which is the line that we believe in, but we
yeah,
don't deny that it's valid science. And you know, we don't believe that it undermines God's existence. And you take it back to God. You can always switch things around.
yeah, yeah,
When you speak with confidence, when you speak with knowledge, you can always switch things around and take them back to, you know, you can always take them back to the core, which is the message of Islam. You can always do that. There's nothing
yeah.
stopping you from. All right, Aki, I need to go for Isha.
Yeah.
It's great speaking to
Thanks a lot.
everybody.
Jazakallahu khair. Yeah.
Wa iyak, Aki. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry for the people who joined the stream and they couldn't actually um, speak. It was fantastic speaking to you all. I need to do more lives. That's what I need to do. I need to talk to the audience more. May Allah bless you. Have a great Ramadan. And remember, Ramadan is a month of ibadah. 12 months of the year, we are slacking. Let's go full out, put in all our effort. And remember as well that we want to give charity, we want to give sadaqah this month. IERA is going to be fundraising for all of our international operations for the dawah that is taking place. Last year, we had over 50,000 people accept Islam. Over 40,000 of them attended New Muslim classes. Think about that, brothers and sisters. 50,000 people accepting Islam. That is phenomenal when you think about it, right? So, inshallah, by 2030, it's going to be over 1 million people accepting Islam on a yearly basis. So, we all need to support the dawah. So, make sure you go to the IRA website, donate, support the work. I'm going to be fundraising to, as you guys know, I work for IRA, and I'm very passionate about the dawah work. And IRA is the biggest dawah organization in the world. However, the work that we're doing is so important, but it's underfunded, and we need a lot more people out there in the field. Those new Muslims need support. So make sure you all support and you tune into the IRA channel. We're going to be live throughout this Ramadan, 24 lives on the IRA channel. See you there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.